Alright, so we're about to take off now to drive the new Hyundai Santa Fe. This is the latest generation, which we are kind of a bit late here to receive it, but should be an interesting drive. Right, welcome back to the Talk and Talk. Welcome to the launch of the new Hyundai Santa Fe. This is 2025 model, and I'm here with Francisco. We are driving towards Clarence Drive, and here's our first impression.
Yeah, so I've had the pleasure of driving first, and my biggest takeaway with this car is just how comfortable it is, man. I don't know from your perspective as a passenger how you've been finding it, but driving it, it's a very I like a car that you can just jump in and you don't have to really think about it. So you can literally just jump into the car, and you can feel ergonomically the car feels right. The way the car responds is also very good, and it's difficult sometimes for brands to get that right, especially when you're dealing with a hybrid. Because with this car, it being a 1.6 liter turbocharged hybrid, it is one of those vehicles that if they didn't get the calibration right, it could feel a bit choppy in terms of it changing between battery and petrol power.
It is quite seamless.
It is.
You barely get to notice the change between going from hybrid to combustion, so it's very good.
Yeah, 100%. And I must say, I'm enjoying just the power output as well. I mean, what, it's 175 kilowatts?
175 kilowatts and 367 newton meters of torque.
You don't need more than that for a car like this, you know. This is not a car that's meant to go super fast, but it's got enough power for you to kind of do what we're doing right now, which is kind of how we would be driving if we were day-to-day owners of this vehicle. And yeah, I'm very, the seats are comfortable. I've got heated seats. It's a chilly morning. The car feels good. It feels planted on the road. They went into great detail about the suspension setup and how the bed is softer and all that stuff. But I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, it feels like a completely different car compared to the previous generation, which felt a little bit like unstable. You could feel the body roll quite a lot, and also, like the previous generation had a little bit more torque than what we have here. We had 441 newton meters of torque from the 2.2 liter turbo diesel engine, and here you're getting 367, quite a bit low. And it is interesting that the price has really gone high by 380,000 rand.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Hybrid tech, yeah?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the cost you pay for hybrid tech. And I think the guys from Hyundai knew it, because as they spoke about it during the launch, they were going on about the fact that they know that this is not a volume seller. It's a flagship car for them, but they also understand why consumers in South Africa love diesels, and they made it very honest. And I like that honesty to say, we will give the consumers what the consumers want. It would be nice to have a 2.2 diesel and something like this. But they also understand that they had to do it because of global regulations and having a hybrid available. But for the most part, they understand that this is not going to be a volume seller. So I don't think they're that stressed about what the car costs. But it's a completely different car, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you even look at the look of it. It's like it looks different completely.
It looks bold, it looks mean. And the design language of Hyundai is quite changed. It's very in your face now compared to if you look 3 to 4 years back. They were quite subtle and, you know, very old school with the curves and what. And here now it looks boxy, hard light shape, a little bit something like from Matrix and that. So yeah, I do like it. It stands out. It is completely different, especially from the front. You can see the new signature design with the H pattern on the headlights, even goes to the tail light as well. So resemble to the one you see in the Exter and the new Alcazar, which we drove not long ago. So I think it is, outside it looks very good, but also I feel like they've drawn quite a lot of inspiration from the British cars, like your Range Rovers and whatnot. Looks like a Defender 130 from the outside, especially on the rear quarter panel. Looks very flat and long, and yeah, but it is pretty cool to look at.
It is, I must say. I mean, we're following one as we speak right now, and I'm obsessed with that rear end. It's just got this look to it that is so unusual. It immediately is identifiable. Well, it says Santa Fe on it, and there's a big Hyundai badge. I think consumers are not going to be wondering what car it is, but I think before they see that badging, they're going to say like, what is that? Because it looks very, like, I see elements of even a bit of Cybertruck in there, you know?
Yeah, a little bit, you can see it. I mean, the proportion of the tail light placement aren't really right, because to our liking, like we discussed before, like they could have put the tail light a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But in terms of drive comfort, how's the steering wheel feeling?
Steering is good. Everything feels like a modern Hyundai, which is very good. I feel like Hyundai has set quite a nice benchmark outside of the premium marks. Hyundai and Kia, they higher end vehicles drive very nicely, and they've become a benchmark to me. For instance, whenever I review a Chinese car, I always benchmark it against these vehicles, in that I always say, does it drive like a Kia? Does it drive like a Hyundai? And if it does, I'm quite impressed, because they've learned to balance a premium feel with their own kind of unique USP in there. And this car is there, you know. It feels like an expensive car that I'm driving. It doesn't feel like a cheaper car. It feels like it's high quality. The steering precision feels good. There's nice weight to the steering wheel as well. And the comfort levels of the car and the NVH levels also very good. I'm quite impressed.
There's minimal road noise and wind noise coming through the cabin, because we're driving like along the coast here, and it is usually very windy, but you barely get to hear any of that. And has good visibility. The windscreen is quite big, and the dash is not as long as you see in the Chinese cars, because it's a bit closer to the firewall there. So it's very good to have this big visibility here. Inside, you get quite a lot of comfort features, a lot of tech. It is very tech hedgy here. You get a 12-speaker Bose sound system, which we haven't tested yet, but the cabin looks very, very good, I have to say. Like the curved display here in front, you get two 12.3 inch, one for your cluster and one for your infotainment, which is compatible with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wirelessly. And the whole aircon section here, I have to say I do like this, having physical buttons, not having things hidden in the screen is very good.
That's true.
There is minimal amount of fingerprints that you're gonna have on the screen.
That's true.
And good for your muscle memory here. Everything is within reach, and pretty much similar to what you see like in Defenders and Range Rovers.
I was gonna say
pretty much the same. Like even how the temperature, like the font of the temperature here looks pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You get two wireless charging pad here, which is very good. So passenger princess, they can put the iPhone 16 Pro Max and everything here, and also charge wirelessly, so no need for cables here. And you get two USB Type-C ports, which is good. Right, now it's my turn to drive. It was very comfortable, easy to drive. Like you say, you just jump in and you get going. Like you don't get to overthink, like, okay, where's this button and where's what. Yeah, I do like it. Very good, very comfortable. Steering wheel has a very good weight to it, not too light and too assisted either. And yeah, it's pretty good. I can feel a little bit of the lane keep assist hitting every now and then. Okay. Yeah, but it's not very intrusive. It's not pulling me out of the lane, and it's pretty good. So you get lane keep assist, forward collision warning, rear collision warning, and reverse assist as well. Comes with a 360-degree park assist camera. The power delivery is not bad at all, because when you look at those figures in the beginning, you think for such a big car, would it need more power? Yeah. But I don't think it needs more power. I don't know how you feel. What I also like is the driving position. Sitting here as a passenger, I'm quite comfortable. Yeah. I could actually do a little young nap. And there's plenty of room for your legs as well. Yeah, plenty. Yeah, very good. There's still tons of room at the back, even the way I'm sitting right now. It's a very family-orientated car, this I must say. Very impressed with just the way it is from a family orientation perspective. Yeah, but you're getting some nice twisty roads that will get an opportunity to just feel how planted the chassis is on this side here. Yeah. How's your experience from a cornering perspective? So far, it's handling quite well. I'm not feeling any body roll, so which is good. Transmission uphill seems to be holding onto the gears quite a bit long. Right now, it's sitting at 4,000 RPM, doing like 120. Oh yeah. So I see it only changed now. Yeah, only changing now. So. And you're not even in sport. You're in eco mode. Yeah, I'm in eco mode. So surprising. Fuel consumption sitting pretty well right now. After the twisties, sitting at 7.7 liters per 100 kilometers. It's not bad. Not far from what they rated, because they claim that this will average on a combined cycle around 7.5 liters 100 kilometers, which is very good. Anything below 10 is very good for an SUV. Yeah, very, very comfortable. And what also makes it easier to drive is the regenerative braking system.
Oh yes.
Which I've been driving in one pedal, barely using the brake pedal, which will also improve the life cycle of your brakes.
Yes.
So it will last a little bit longer. Does it feel like $1 million to you? 1.25 million to be precise.
In today's market, I would say you can justify this price tag considering what you get. It is still a lot of money, but I guess they have to keep up with what's going on in the market. But overall, I must say that it's not it doesn't feel like you are being ripped off. Let me say that.
True. Yeah.
And yourself, how do you feel?
I feel like 1.2 is a bit steep, but also like if you compare it to the rivals such as the X3, what is it, 20D, it's not too bad. I mean, you get 7-seater, very comfortable 7-seater, good amount of power. The quality inside is top notch. Like I can't really fault it. There's very little to fault about the interior and the level of comfort and safety that you get here. But still, like, will it be like people's choice compared to the Germans? Not really. So like, for the price perspective, I think if they want to sell more units, they would, I don't know, I don't think they will adjust the price by now, but yeah, we'll have to see what people choose. But for me, I would have liked it if it was probably like at 1 million. 1 bar will be good. The extra 250,000 rand is quite a lot to consider when you can go for the German, like your X3, and you can go for the Q5, maybe the entry, like the basic Q5. So yeah, but here you do get everything, all the bells and whistle, everything included for 1.25 million rand.
And that's all in. That's the nice thing. I don't think there's any options that you can now tick after that. You get all the stuff that you're supposed to get: sunroof, you get your cameras, you get your PDC, you get your safety stuff, all for that price. Whereas we know with the German brands, a car can cost you $1 million, but then if you're going to spec the right options, it will easily become more than that.
300,000 rand.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What do you think of the price difference between this and the previous generation, which launched in 2021? It's about 380,000 rand. Do you think it's the addition and everything with the facelift is worth 380,000 rand?
I think it's difficult because with this car, it being a hybrid, I think that's what's throwing the price ever so slightly. So if you had if we could compare a 2.2 diesel of this generation versus that, it would be easier to kind of draw that comparison. But I think because this is a completely new powertrain now on this, it makes it difficult to see, 300,000 rand is a lot of money. It is a lot of money ultimately when it comes to comparing it to the previous model. But I think because we've got the hybrid tech in this, it's what essentially justifies the fact that it's that much more expensive. Whereas in theory, it shouldn't have been so much more expensive compared to the outgoing model. But I think it's purely based on the fact that it's got the hybrid tech. I
mean, it feels and looks completely different compared to the previous generation. It's properly refined. Like they could have given it a different name back by now, because this is not the Santa Fe that we saw back in 2021. If you're putting it like in this market here in South Africa with the competition, 1.25 puts it in a very tough spot, compared to its rivals. So people, like a lot of buyers here in South Africa are brand loyal. So it will be very difficult to convince someone to not pick BMW or Audi to go for a Hyundai. So
that's true. That is very, very true. But that also speaks to how good the product has become, in that we can even compare it to a BMW or an Audi or a Mercedes-Benz, I think that's kudos to the Hyundai brand and what they've been able to achieve. I mean, these guys about 10 years ago were perceived as like how the Chinese cars are perceived. Maybe a little bit longer than 10 years ago, but still they were at a point in their careers where these brands were not perceived as how they are now, but yet look at them now. They've been compared to BMWs and Audis. So yeah, it just goes to show you how much a brand can do in a relatively short space of time.
So we just finished the launch of this new Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid, full-on 7-seater SUV, completely different compared to the previous generation. I can say that it is a very interesting, definitely like it, very bold and very in-your-face design, but really looks good, looks the part. Looks a bit similar to what you see in the European markets, such as the Land Rover 110, 130. I do like that they have brought out the new H pattern design even here on the Santa Fe. You can see the headlights are quite similar to what you see in the Alcazar and the Exter, but big things to talk about here is the 1.6 liter turbo petrol engine, which is mated to the hybrid system. Overall, pretty good car, pretty nice. Likes that it ticks all the right boxes when it comes to 7-seater family SUV. But the question is, will people buy it for 1.2 million rand?